So good morning, actually a very cold morning, and welcome back over to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. We decided to come on over today because, well, it is the first of the year. So yesterday was one of the busiest days at all the theme parks, usually as it always is. It's the first day of 2020. Thought we'd come on over, but I did forget that they still do Christmas Town here until January 6th. But the big reason I wanted to come over here is I wanted to check out more of Iron Gwazi. The thing with Iron Gwazi is the lift hill has been completed. They have the track going all the way up. They're just finishing up the last little bit of the handrail. So we're gonna check that out. See if they also have Christmas Town open, like the little village area. I don't think they do, because I think they open that at 4, like later in the evening. But we'll go over there and check that out and just see what some of the wait times are. I don't know if we'll get on anything today, but we'll just walk around and see what there is. So you kind of walk through the entrance area. Literally as you walk towards Gwazi, there's just the lift hill right there. A nice 206-foot tall lift hill, which just unfortunately means that they'll have to put a little beacon on the top of it. But you can also tell it is going to be busy. So one of the ways I always can tell if it's going to be busy or not is if we go out and check on the quick queue prices. If you go to the one ticket price, so the one-day ticket thing, the one-day ticket, or like the one-time quick queue, it'll give you an idea how busy it is. So like today, for a one-time quick queue, which we've done before, it is $60 a person today. So that just means it's gonna be busy. But it's gotta stand back far enough. See, got the lift hill all the way up. At the very top though, it's a little Christmas tree like we were talking about. And the flag's up, because they usually put an American flag up on the tallest point on coasters until they've reached the tallest point of it. And a lot of the track has been complete. It's just gonna be really interesting to see when this starts running this year, because now it is 2020. This will be officially opening this year at some point. Seeing those coaster cars running around, and they're not like subtle little, they're like bright colored cars, so you'll see it going around. Now, I don't remember how big the train is, but I think it's gonna be at least 10 rows deep, I think is the train size. But like the trains are gonna be four seats per car. Tell you though, later this year when this does open, this will be the busiest area, because this is the first ride you come to, because it's the closest ride. Because everyone right now goes like the Cheetah Hunt or Cobra's Curse or Montu, because right now those are the closest thing. But with this being so dormant for so long, this is now going to be the closest attraction. But yeah, I was really hoping they would do a dual loading of some sort on it, but then like the other thing also that's pretty cool about this, so the reason that like Rocky Mountain does this is because like a lot of times when you build a lot down, like you build the inside section like they do sometimes, so it's the very simplest thing. So what it does is the chain goes up the lift hill, but then it turns around and falls right underneath it. So this is gonna be insane though. I wonder when this opens, will they take down this fencing? Because they've completely redone, like they've kind of taken back a lot of these trees. Because you remember when we used to walk through here when Gwazi was still just Gwazi standing, this was very overrun with trees and stuff. Also you can see they've got the queue they started building some of the queue, and it goes underneath the track coming out of the station. It's hard to see it, but if you look just right. And they started painting the queue again. All I'm saying is this thing is the most anticipated coaster coming, because it is it's been the longest like to come to the park, because with Gwazi being shut down so long ago, turning this into an Iron Gwazi and with the crocodile theme, it's a lot of elements that we still don't know quite a lot about, because they said there's a couple new elements they are introducing onto this attraction. And this will be the entrance point. So when you walk in, you literally are going to be able to walk in, there's going to be the Iron Gwazi sign right there, and you'll see the trains going up the hill or the trains going over the station right there. Because literally the station is this building right here, and literally you're going to be coming up, so you'll come out of this turn carrying a lot of speed, be banked hard to the right and down. So it's going to be a lot of vertical G's.
The stairs remind me of like the Omni Mover thing.
Yeah.
When you like stare at it too long, it looks like an Omni Mover.
Yeah. But so this thing is 206 feet tall. You can see they're still working on the railing for the lift hill as well. So
I can't.
But this thing is insane. And it's weird to think, so like if you come over here, they still have the old the old concept art that they first showed. This was like literally been the only concept art we're still aware of. Like they have this one, but this is more of like an overall concept. But this was the first piece of concept art that they showed. And yeah,
that's insane.
But see, it doesn't have all the middle section anymore. Like they've
I go on this, but I close my eyes.
I mean, it's gonna be over before you know it. But like, so the big thing is that they've gotten rid of a lot of the middle section. So this like twist that comes through the coaster, through the lift hill, has a little more room and a lot more. You can see a lot more. So it's not designed like a with the wooden coaster base structure, but they've simplified it because they actually started doing the new design where it's a very simple lift hill. So they went from that design to this, because with it being a beyond vertical drop, then you need to be able to have more of this like ability to bring it back. And it's only 91 degrees, but it's beyond vertical. So, oh, now they're saying spring.
Oh, it's summer.
They've never said anything about it.
Oh.
They've only said coming 2020.
Maybe
spring means
it was a different ride I was thinking of.
It may be icebreaker.
I don't know.
But that means with spring, you're looking at a possible April, May to early June opening time frame for this. So that means over the next so technically that means they must be done with the track layout. I don't know, this thing just is.
I think the towers and stuff. It looks like it just whips you around.
Well, that's what it is. That's what the Rocky Mountain construction style is. This is like whip, because they don't do a lot of the vertical loops like B&M does. They do a lot more of the twist, because like you're banked hard to the left and then it banks you back the other way.
Is Rocky Mountain doing icebreaker too?
No, that's Premier. That's Premier Rides. Premier Rides is what built Tigris here.
Oh.
You kind of look off of this. Once Christmas Town doesn't still open till 4 p.m. like it has been, but like you can see there's still a lot of track to be put in, but it looks like a lot of it's coming along. It looks like this front half of the ride has been completed. It looks like the back half that we don't know anything of, because we know a lot about this front section. So we know about the lift, we know about this overbank turn going over the station, we know the corkscrew coming out of the lift, or by the lift, but we still don't know much about anything else. All it looks like it's gonna have a lot of these weird like banked ups and downs types of turns that are gonna be very weird, because you're gonna be sideways. It's gonna give you air time, so it's gonna give you like this lateral G-force. So we'll try to go over, keep going around, see if we can see more of it. Don't know, I think the Sky Ride, like it has been doing, isn't open till noon. He's like pacing almost. Just like walking away. Oh, it's just insane. Like this went from being a 2 coaster setup to now it's a single, like it's a single coaster now. So this used to be like one of the, so they actually had to build the lift hill from the ground up, but they used the old lift hills. They used this one and the one on the other side to build the upwards parts and these overbank turns. So they did use most, and like someone said, what they do is they use all the old footers from the old ride, and that's why they can build these things in less than a year and a half. Because like to build a brand new coaster from the ground up usually could take a year and a half to 2 years. Of if you really are building a coaster of this magnitude, it would take that long. But they use old footers from old Gwazi to build Iron Gwazi. So over here by the exit of one of the Christmas Towns area, by the Garden Cafe like shop, it gives you a really good idea of how steep that first drop is, because you can see as it goes down it starts leveling out, but you can see how there's this little piece right here. That little piece kind of moves in a little bit, and that's your 91-degree drop. Like, it's the first hybrid coaster to go beyond 90 degrees. And it's gonna be really cool. It's just standing here, because like you'll get a really good view of everything. So you'll see go down that first drop, you'll see it flash over that hill right there, go into the dive, come down, and then go right up over this little part. This thing just looks like it's gonna be a massive speed demon. I think they said 76 miles an hour is what they're aiming for, because it's 206 feet tall with a 91-degree drop, 3 inversions, 76 miles an hour. So yeah, that thing's gonna carry a lot of speed, but it looks like it's gonna be absolutely insane. So I just did a quick look on, I kind of Googled it. So spring this year starts March 19th and runs all the way through June 20th. So they're saying spring of this year, they're saying anywhere in that time frame. Now, just based on where the track is at and everything's at, and no testing's been done yet, I think early May, early to mid-May, I think they're gonna want this ride open by summer to get the summer crowds. But I think that early to mid-May is when I think you're looking. So I think those first 2.5, 3 weeks of May, you'll see it open, and I'm really hoping they do like what they did with Tigris for the pass members and let us get to ride it first.
Do like the pass member
previews.
Yeah, pass member previews.
Well, they did soft openings. They really didn't do previews. What they did was they had it open, they had soft openings for it, and they announced the soft opening, but they said if you're a pass member, you can come in and use the quick queue. And it pretty much unlimited amount of time. So like I got to ride it twice. The one day we came, Allie rode it once. So yeah, I'm hoping, I'm thinking early May when they're opening this thing. I'll tell you what, whenever we came up here, we're on like the treehouse, Elmo's treehouse thing. You can see a lot, but I was too concerned that I was gonna drop the camera. Now I know I couldn't drop the camera much farther, but I was telling you, there's a whole lot back section. The trees are also a lot fuller than I wanted them to be honest, but it's gonna be really cool if you stand up here and watch it. See, this area I'm talking about is right here. So you have that little area. This is like all the new woodwork they're doing. So I think you come out of the lift hill and you come up to this. I don't know. Again, we don't know much about it because we know this back half has a lot of new stuff in it. It's kind of intriguing now that with Gwazi, Iron Gwazi opening this year, you've now added a whole nother repertoire of things. So you have three B&M coasters here. You have the B&M dive coaster here for SheiKra. You have a looping coaster in Kumba, and then you have an inverted in Montu. Then you got Premier Rides, which did Tigris over there, which is the same company that's doing the original design of Icebreaker. And then you also have Intamin has their ride here. And I think it's Mock Rides did Cobra's Curse. So adding Rocky Mountain into this lineup is an amazing lineup. Like, you've really created an amazing coaster lineup here in Tampa with all these rides. So you come up here, so the app says it's only 15 minutes, but we're gonna double check to make sure that it's, but now it went to 25 minutes.
Yep, the line's like right there, and once you get from that point all the way up, it's like basically a 10-minute wait.
I mean, we can wait for this, at least, because it's one of the rides we like to do a lot. So unfortunately we couldn't do Tigris, not because we couldn't want to, it's because when we walked up it was 25, went down to 15, the line was almost just in the queue house area, but we had paid for one of the lockers. And well, it didn't give us, it didn't tell us what number locker it was, and it didn't print anything out. So we couldn't use it. So we had to wait to see maybe he could pull it up. He tried pulling it, couldn't, so he tried to get the printer in the thing to work to maybe see if it'll print off our thing. So, but it was no big deal, but in that time frame, it took us about 15 to 20 minutes for him to try to figure out what was going on with it. So instead of, the Tigris, we're gonna do something else, but that's just unfortunate. I mean, that's what happens. Also looks like SheiKra is doing their double loading today. Person who came out said it was about a 20-minute wait, so it's not too bad. Seen a couple of trains go by empty, but so the thing that's pretty cool about this is that when they do the two ladies, see how there's this one sitting here? What it's doing, it's waiting for the one that's on the lift to get to the top of the lift and get to a certain point before they release this one. Once they release this one, then it now opens up the whole station so they can load 2 trains at a time. So there's technically 4 trains at a time. I don't know the maximum number of trains they can have on this. I feel like this is a lot, but you see there it goes now. It doesn't look like there's actually that many people on that train. So if anyone is curious, so we came for our Christmas Town visit. This was the tunnel that we just hung out of. hang out at the entire time. And this is a cool thing. Like, it's really funny, like how like this isn't like just a straight, it goes down, then kind of goes up. Also, it's a nice little path because then it's a nice little cut through. So you have to go all the way through Jungala. It's kind of funny. We walked into Pantopia, and of course you have Falcon's Fury, which is just an insane ride. But I feel like anywhere you go, you see Falcon's Fury. But now with Tigris being, or not Tigris, with Iron Gwazi's lift hill being completed, kind of can see it everywhere. Like I said, when Iron Gwazi does reopen, or when it opens, because technically it's opening as a new ride. When it opens, it will be the closest to the front ride, like to the front ride. Like it's closest to the main entrance. So everyone will probably go to Gwazi early in the morning. Just kind of walking through. We went through Pantopia. Really nothing over there. Just kind of everywhere I look, I just want to look up and see Gwazi. Like this is insane. Like I don't know. Oh, they stopped the Sky Ride for a second. Kind of just walking around. Yeah, it's like, it's some of the lines, there are some, so like Cheetah Hunt has one of the longest lines, Cobra's Curse has one of the longest lines, but I think both of those are much slower loading because they're smaller trains. Like Montu has a lot of seats, Kumba has a lot of seats, so I think the same thing will be for Gwazi when it opens. They'll have a lot of seats, so maybe it'll load fast too. Kind of one of the fun things about being like Busch Gardens or SeaWorld is that they have so many little animals kind of interacting. I think there was one day when we were waiting to see if Infinity Falls would open up one day for testing. We saw an iguana that they had out, and it was a hot day, and he actually had to run the iguana from the ground because the ground was really hot onto one of the benches. So we were laughing because you saw him running with the iguana. And then just back there, you see where this little crowd's at right now, there's a person there with a tiny little owl. And I am a big owl fan. Like, Allie's always makes fun of me because like I love owls. But I mean, it was literally no bigger than in my hand, I think. So Allie actually took a picture of me with it, so I'm gonna put that in. Actually, a couple pictures. I'm gonna put one in here and one right next to it because it is tiny. It's pretty cool though. Some more of these macaws. We've got some green ones over here. The other day we were here, they're yelling at each other. I like how they climb along the cage right there. I like how they move around, because they don't fly, but like move around, like what we were seeing earlier when we saw the other macaws, the little red and blue one. Oh god, it's yelling. I think they're parrots, but they're called macaws. Like, there's macaws and parrots. They're two different styles. So these guys are macaws. I like how this iguana's got this whole area to himself, and he's kind of laying right on that one little pole right there. He's got the sunbeam right on him. It's pretty cool. They actually used to have a lot of little birds through here. And the other benefits coming to this back area, you get another really good view of Gwazi's. Like, you talk about so this little section is the area that goes right past the overbanked over the station area. This is all new track work right here. And will be like an up, a little down, up, and then it kind of goes into this weird, there's this like almost like they're making a dive loop type thing. So 3 inversions on this thing. We know about 2 of them. We have this like weird dive loop, and then there's supposed to be a 0G stall somewhere in this. 0G stall is when it flips you, holds you upside down for like a long period of time, and then re-flips you back out of it.
That's weird.
So you got this one, which will go into a diving corkscrew. Then you have this one, which is going to be like a loop of some sort.
Right.
And then you have a 0G stall, which are the coolest systems. But I like how simplex the lift hill looks. Sounds like Cheetah Hunt's about to go by. Up. There it goes. I'm talking about, that's probably one of the best views to see Gwazi is from the top of Cheetah Hunt right there. I do know that they are posting kind of a long wait for Cheetah Hunt. Last time I looked, it was about an hour. Even though they are loading 2 trains, like I said, that you still have a lot of, it's still not as big of a train as like Montu or the other B&M coasters. So yeah, Cheetah Hunt does have the longest line in the park right now with a 65-minute wait. So yeah, most popular ride in the park until spring of 2020. Yep, and then Cobra's Curse about 55, but I do think it's because it is a much slower loading attraction because it only has 2 trains total 2 cars per train, only having 8 people. Now that's just because of the spinning aspect, I know that. But yeah, Cheetah Hunt, Cobra's Curse, 2 longest lines in the parks. So that's how it is. That's why I said, but when Spring 2020 happens, it probably won't be the longest lines in the park because Gwazi will be a lot closer to the main entrance. So Montu over here is actually posting a 15-minute wait, but they are loading 2 trains, so that is making it a lot shorter. But I can tell you, every time I've walked to go by, almost every seat is full. But this is an insane, I mean, it's pretty, I like how they grouped like a lot of the rides together, because like you have Montu, which is the inverted B&M, Cobra's Curse, where I think it's mock rides, I think, I'd have to double check because I'm never sure. And then you have Cheetah Hunt by Intamin over in that area. Then you have Falcon's Fury, which is built by Intamin near Pantopia with Scorpion, Sand Serpent, and a lot of little kiddie rides right down the way from Kumba. And then once Iron Gwazi opens, it'll be a little bit off, but Iron Gwazi, and then right down the way is Tigress and Shikra. So it's a really nice placement of everything. I feel like you don't have all these rides right on top of each other. You don't have all these rides right on top of each other, so then they are able to be a little more, crowds can be a little more spread out. Everywhere I look, more Gwazi. I just love the look of that lift hill though. You know the worst part is, as much as I love Rocky Mountain Construction Company, whenever we do ride this, it'll be my second RMC coaster to ride. Which sucks, but I have ridden the original in the new Texas Giant, was the first hybrid converted coaster, and that started it all. It was a big risk, and as you can tell now, it has paid off not only for Six Flags, but for also Rocky Mountain. I still feel like anywhere you look, you see part of this ride, but it's gonna be really cool because you can be far away like we are now, and you can see the overbank turn over the main lift, or over the, it goes a little bit under the lift hill over the station area. Man, gonna be insane when this thing finally opens. So we are gonna go ahead and call it a day from Busch Gardens. I know it was a very quick trip out, and we didn't ride anything. We were gonna ride Tigress, but then we ran into the small issue with the locker system. But it is what it is. It's not like it wasn't an end all for us. It was never a big deal. Biggest thing was going over and seeing Gwazi, and man, that thing is really coming along with it opening in spring of 2020. So anywhere from March 19th to June 20th. Which means it could open June 20th, and it's still in spring. But I think my prediction is going to be May, early to mid-May. So either that first full week of May or the second week of May would work out really well, because we actually took some time off for late May, so maybe during that time. But I think based on where it's at and how it's being built right now, I think first 2 weeks of May are my predictions. So, and there's just a lot going on with it. A little busy today, not super crazy. Some rides had very short waits, some rides had long waits. The ones that had longer waits are the ones that are a little slower loading, like Tigress, which only has 1 total train on the track, Cheetah Hunt, and Cobra's Curse, and everything else like that. But some of the bigger rides didn't have much of a wait, but we didn't really want to ride anything too crazy. So, but with all that being said, as we do head out from a very little fun trip out to Busch Gardens, we will see y'all next time.